television at matinee rates. I know a big-budget beauty with impeccable taste should get you what you need to put a smile on your face with just the right blend of leather and lace. Madam Grindhouse is gonna be your guide to a weird, wild, wonderful world waiting inside. Step right up, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. She's here to provide Madam Grindhouse.
Hello, my little sprocket friends and cinematic masochists. It's me, Madam Grindhouse, your cinematrix of the silver screen. So a while back, we talked about how the slasher movie genre got its start in the 70s. Some argue that it started with 1974's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but most consider John Carpenter's Halloween, released in 1978, the real start of the trend, because after that, the rest of the 70s and most of the 80s were flooded with slashers of all kinds. Most of these were one-and-done cheap cash grabs, but others would find themselves becoming long-running franchises with almost yearly sequels. We all know the big names, of course: Friday the 13th, The Nightmare on Elm Street, and even Halloween itself, which has not only continued into the present, but somehow split off into its own multiverse. But that's another show. Maybe we'll do a spin-off someday when we need to make more money. However, there is an odd outlier in the annals of slasher movie franchises. A Canadian-born series which is unique because, with one exception, none of the movies in the series have anything to do with each other in terms of plot. We are, of course, talking about the Prom Night franchise. Beginning in 1980, with sequels coming in 1987, 1990, and 1992, plus a remake in 2008, the Prom Night series is, with the exception of 3 being a follow-up to 2, mostly an anthology series. Each movie is set around prom night, where assorted teenagers meet their demise in a variety of horrific ways. Along with the school being Hamilton High, side note, how does a bastard orphan son of a whore and a Scotsman get a high school named after him? Anyway, the only other things the 4 original movies all have in common is all of them were produced by Peter Simpson. His son Brock has a small role in each, and is the only actor to appear in all of them, and composer Paul Zaza providing the music. And it's that anthology aspect of it that makes it interesting. Because as each movie came out, they kind of created a snapshot of where the slasher genre was at the time it was made. And that has made it one of my favorite series of horror films. We'll cover all of them as time goes on, but tonight, we take a look at the original Prom Night. The movie opens with, am I about to watch a horror movie or some god-awful LSD-induced Canadian cartoon holiday special? Horror movie, got it. The movie actually opens with a hallmark of early 80s parenting, a group of preteen kids playing games in an abandoned building. Who needs playgrounds when you have panes of glass and rusty metal to play with?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
You know, when I was growing up, counting that fast while playing hide and seek would be the quickest way to an ass beating. If I had anything to say about it, that is.
The killer is coming. The killer's gonna get you.
No thanks, I prefer the Misfits. No, not those Misfits. These Misfits. Toxic Yuri for the win, am I right? Okay, yeah, that was kind of cringy. Moving on. So these kids are Wendy, Jude, Nick, and Kelly. They'll be our victims for this movie after this prologue. While they play this violence-themed variant of hide-and-seek that only kids can come up with, 3 other children arrive outside. Kim Hammond and her younger siblings, twins Robin and Alex.
It's Nick. He's an idiot.
I could only love him more if he had a major concussion. Kim realizes that she left one of her books at school and goes back for it, while Robin and Alex continue on their way home. Robin wants to play with the other kids, but Alex continues on, leaving her behind. The credits start to roll and... Wait, Jamie Lee Curtis is in this? Well, hot damn, maybe this movie won't suck after all. Robin goes into the building, wanting to join the game. This does not go well for her.
They'll put us in jail. If we tell anyone, they'll say it's our fault.
Because it kinda is, Wendy. Actually, this is one of the flaws with this movie. A lot of character motivations aren't really explained or made clear. Like here, for example. We have no idea why these kids are being such little shits to Robin outside of a line from Alex earlier about how they don't want her to play with them. There doesn't really seem to be any reason for Robin to be as terrified of them as she is when Nick outs her to the others. She seems to have a stutter, which could be something she's bullied for, but if that's the case, why go into the damn building in the first place? Regardless of what Robin's relationship to these kids is, the four of them decide to keep what really happened a secret and get the hell out of there, but a shadow falling across Robin's body tells us somebody else knows what actually went on. But don't worry, the cops have their top man on the case. Frank Drebin and the rest of Police Squad will bring these kids to justice. But seriously, Leslie Nielsen is also in this movie as Kim, Robin and Alex's dad, and it just so happens he's the principal of the high school they're all going to attend. Convenient. We jump ahead about 6 years to the day of the prom. Wait, if Leslie Nielsen is Robin's dad in this movie and he's the principal of the high school, did he approve prom to happen on the anniversary of his daughter's death? If so, that's really fucked up. So in the 6 years since Robin fell out the window, everybody's grown up. Robin's death was blamed on a sex offender in the area, so everybody's life has pretty much been going on as normal. Until today, that is.
Hello?
Jude,
Yes?
can you come out to play tonight?
And so the movie, correctly assuming the audience knows what genre this is, starts lining up creepy-ass suspects. We actually saw one earlier, the new janitor at the high school, but as Jude goes to school, we get a new one.
So who are you?
Seymour Crane, but they call me Slick.
Be honest, dude, nobody calls you that. Wait, Jude, no, don't get in the van, that's how you end up on Dateline. Meanwhile, our mystery caller calls Kelly and freaks her out, and her boyfriend Drew is no damn help at all.
A heavy breather?
It was worse than that.
He turned you on, didn't he? Maybe I should try that.
Not how you do phone sex, Drew. Take it from a 5-time regional champion. Nick gets a call, but ignores it, assuming that it's Wendy trying to get him to take her to prom. Boy, that girl's clearly got a bustling social life. And the other reason Nick isn't interested in her is because he's currently dating Kim. But then the movie decides to go into flashback territory. Remember that sex offender the cops pinned Robin's death on? Turns out he tried to escape them when they went to question him, and he wound up in a goddamn fire. He's been in the hospital ever since.
Just came over the wire. Last night, Murch escaped from the state hospital in Cleveland.
Or maybe not. Either way, Lieutenant whatever the fuck his name is expects him to come back to town, which is seemingly confirmed when the police find the body of the nurse he took hostage. I also love how no one in movies can ever hang up the phone politely.
I'll be right over.
Speaking of phone calls, Wendy gets hers, but assumes it's Lou, the school bully, who's apparently been trying to get her to go to prom with him. And my god, Wendy, you actually drive that thing? If they were going to saddle you with an ugly car, why not just commit to it and put you in a Pinto or something? Well, I guess they couldn't do that. It wouldn't be as satisfying if she just randomly blew up on the way to school rather than getting hacked to death by the killer. Would probably be more interesting, though. At the school, Jude tells Kim she's going to the prom. Yeah, she decided to go with Slick. I'm not going to call him that, he's just van guy now. We also see Lou, the aforementioned school bully, and he proves to be an asshole right off the bat.
Now I know why Kim won't go out with me.
She likes girls.
It's better than kissing an ashtray.
I would like to formally volunteer to act as Jamie Lee's control group to prove this hypothesis. Does Kelly even like her boyfriend? I mean, I get not wanting to make a spectacle of yourself in the halls, but this seems more like active disinterest than shyness.
See you later, lover.
I told her it was over.
Worked real well.
High school. I do not miss the dating drama at all. Of course, it's not like I did much dating myself. I found taking people to the equipment shed behind the football field for 15 or so minutes was a lot more efficient and economical. Meanwhile, Lieutenant whatever the fuck arrives at the scene where the nurse was dumped, which just so happens to be the abandoned building from the beginning of the movie. Convenient. Again.
No, Murch must have driven it off after killing her. I got an APB out on it. Shouldn't be too hard to find a beat-up VW.
In 1980? No, it won't be hard to find one at all. The problem is finding out which one of the thousands of them is the right one. Back at the school, Kim checks out the prom decorations, and if you needed any more reminders that this movie, while released in 1980, was likely shot at the tail end of the 70s, the theme is Disco Madness. Why the hell am I not watching a slasher movie titled Disco Madness? Wendy shows up and insists that while Nick and Kim may be king and queen of the prom, everything will go back to normal once it's over.
You seem a little anxious, Wendy. By the way, who are you going with tonight?
It's not who you go with, honey. It's who takes you home.
Oh, would you two just make out already and get it over with? And now we're doing arts and crafts. So, Nick and Wendy's yearbook photos are next to each other. Convenient. Again. And again. At lunch, Lou decides to be a dick to Kim again, while wearing a ski mask for some reason, which sets Alex off and a fight breaks out and they both get sent to see Mr. Hammond. Ain't zero tolerance policies fun and fair for everyone?
Well, it just figures.
But I play favorites. I take it easy on Alex because he's my son. Well, you're right.
I'm actually not sure if this is better or not. So we go back to Lieutenant Whatever the Fuck, who's obsessing over the sex offender, and the movie saves money by inserting flashback stills into the film to pad the runtime. Look, I'm just going to cut to the chase with this subplot. The sex offender isn't the killer and is just here as a red herring. For some reason, this is the one that the filmmakers spent the most time on, and it's really not necessary. All it amounts to is occasionally moving the action from the school to the cop during this part of the movie, and it all could have been cut without any real change to the story. Meanwhile, on the white cliffs of Vancouver, I guess.
I love you. You know that?
I love you too.
Yeah, maybe you should tell the truth about what happened to her sister before you go professing your love, my dude. And speaking of toxic relationships, Wendy and Lou plot to ruin prom for Nick and Kim. Wendy for obvious reasons, and Lou just because he's an asshole with a chip on his shoulder. How many revenge-seeking weirdos are we gonna have at this dance?
Nice.
I'll buy you one for Christmas, all right?
A car or a girl? Because I'm pretty sure he can't afford one and the other wouldn't give him the time of day. Gym class ends and, wait, shower scene! When do I get to see Jamie Lee's tits?
Not until Trading Places in 83.
Well, fuck. We see the yearbook photos for earlier were for when Wendy finds hers in her locker, symbolically shredded across her neck. Hang on a second. How far are we into this movie? For crying out loud, any other slasher would have had at least one kill by now. I'm starting to wonder why this series became one of my favorites if this is how it started.
I think I'll let Drew do it.
Girl, you were in a pre-90s slasher movie. That's how you guarantee your death. Jamie Lee, you know better than to run toward danger. You were in Halloween before this. Okay, I'll take the cleavage over nothing. Thank you for that small courtesy movie. After school, both Kelly and Jude find their yearbook photos, both with a shard of the mirror attached. And later, Wendy makes sure everything's ready for her own petty revenge.
Okay, now listen, is it all set? It better. I don't want her ever to forget this night.
Just skip the pig's blood, okay? Your entire subplot is already too much of a Carrie ripoff as it is. Actually, now that I think about it, we're halfway through the movie and nothing has happened. Can we get to the murder already? Or at least away from the weird-ass comments like this?
You look almost like a woman.
It's Jamie Lee Curtis. She's looked like an adult since birth. Hot, but an adult. Yes, very subtle choice of dress color, Wendy. Did you borrow it from the devil's wife? Of course, considering who you're going to prom with.
What the hell is this? Where's your suit?
It's in the trunk. Don't worry about it.
Hey, you roped the biggest idiot in the school into your revenge plan, Wendy. Don't be surprised that he does stupid shit. And speaking of stupid shit, if Lou's suspended, why is he even being allowed to go to prom? I admit it's been a while since I've been in high school, but I don't remember that being allowed. Of course, my high school also used the term independent study as a euphemism for the teacher is locking you in the supply closet for being a pain in the ass. I hope all that graffiti I carved in the walls about Miss Henderson's sex life is still there. What? Well, at least the school is looking appropriately creepy for a slasher movie. Does that mean someone's going to fucking die already? What is this? My college roommate's shitty student art film? I mean, if they're trying to pull off the killer's POV thing from Halloween, they're doing it wrong. And now we go from pretentious art film to Saturday Night Fever ripoff. No, wait, hang on. I need to outsource this one to a master snarker.
It's the Soul Train. Beep, beep. Get on board.
What? It's fine when I do it. So everybody shows up at prom and, wait, what the hell is Lieutenant whatever the fuck doing here? I know he asked the cops to check around the school for the sex offender, but he's got absolutely no reason to think he'd even show up here. And speaking of people showing up, Wendy arrives with Lou, and can I just say, I think Lou's two toadies wearing matching tuxedo t-shirts is adorable. Are they each other's dates? God, I hope so. For fuck's sake, this goes on for 3 minutes. I like disco music just fine, but I'm here for a slasher movie, not fucking Dirty Dancing. If I can't get a goddamn kill, can I at least get some gratuitous sex, please?
It's really no big deal, Kelly. It's like getting a shot. Listen to the Instanex. One date and she's a sex counselor.
Okay, it's not gratuitous sex, but sex talk. I'll take it. Kelly comes into the bathroom, worried about having sex with Drew, but Kim and Jude say they're ready to be backup if they need to. Jude, however, doesn't have the same concerns with her date.
I know what I like.
Literally anything. One of the perks of dating nerds. Kelly apparently decides to go ahead with Drew, and the two start making out in the locker room. Don't get your hopes up, gang. The only thing we see is a 2-second flash of titty that, frankly, isn't even worth making a Patreon-exclusive version of this video for. Oh yeah, did I mention that donating as little as $1 a month to patreon.com/dubiouscon gets you the uncut and uncensored version of these videos? Well, assuming there's anything worth censoring in the first place. But while this video may not have an uncensored version, plenty of the others do. Not only that, you get early access to episodes of my show, as well as any other videos the producer manages to get out. And while $1 may not seem like much, it goes a long way to paying my voice box and bringing us closer to our goal of putting out more than one episode a month. So please, dig deep in your hearts and deeper into your wallets to help us out. Okay, the begging is out of the way, so let's get back to Kelly, who gets cold feet about the whole thing and calls it off. Andrew, because this is 1980, decides to be a fucking dick.
If you don't, I know plenty who will.
Dude, she said no. You got to second base in the locker room on prom night. Take the W. And Kelly, seriously, girl, you could do so much better. But she won't get the chance to, because under subsection 2A of the slasher movie rulebook, even a topless makeout section is subject to the usual penalty.
Kelly.
Fucking finally! Only took an hour! Meanwhile, it looks like Van Guy is having better luck with Jude.
Why don't we do it on the bluff?
On the bluffs?
Trust someone with experience, kids. Fucking outdoors is not nearly as much fun as you might think it is. It gets fucking cold, and the rocks digging into your skin is really uncomfortable. Yeah, don't have sex on mountains. It's just a bad idea. And could you just kill these two already? Jesus Christ, this has to be the slowest fucking slasher villain in the history of these kinds of movies. Even early Michael Myers or Pamela Voorhees had at least 3 kills by this point. The killer breaks a branch, which makes Jude and Van Guy decide to go back to the van and smoke a joint. Wish I'd thought of that. Wait, no, then this movie might seem even longer. Never mind.
I'll remember this night for the rest of my life.
All 15 seconds of it! What the fuck are you doing, dude? It's murder, not goddamn interpretive dance. And if that seemed ridiculous to you... I'm not sure what's sillier here, the killer's fight with Van Guy, or that the van exploded for no good reason once it went over the cliff. Anyway, our score is now Killer 2, Teen 0, and wasn't there another revenge-seeking weirdo at this prom? Don't pump your mascara, Wendy, it's not good for it.
Hey, have you got any mascara?
Don't share mascara either! It can cause all sorts of infections. Like a good old-fashioned axe murder chase, He chases Wendy all over the school, which in other movies probably would have been one of the high points. But since there's already way too many overlong sequences, this just feels like more padding than anything suspenseful. Honestly, this movie could have been cut down to an hour, we wouldn't have missed anything. Eventually, the killer chases Wendy into the school's auto shop. Hey, you remember when school still had funding for things like shop class? I learned how to wield a douchebag's belt buckle to a radiator grill there. Good times. Wendy hides in one of the cars and, girl, he has an axe. Locking the doors ain't gonna do shit. Okay, damn, dude. Credit where it's due. Great swing. Wendy manages to get away and hides in the storage room, but that doesn't help because this is where the killer ditched Kelly's body. And of course it falls from the shelf, jump-scaring Wendy, who immediately screams and reveals where she is. Thank you! So that just leaves us with Nick on the killer's hit list. And no, we still have no real idea who the killer is since all of our potential suspects are still in play.
I had to tell you myself, we got him.
Where? When?
Well, actually, the State Patrol got him out near Alderston.
It's over 50 miles from here.
Well, shit. An actual not bad plot twist movie. Wait a second, Lieutenant whatever the fuck has the creepy janitor now?
You guys had too much to drink. I'm going for the patrol car to take him in. I'll be right back, Nicky. Come on, let's go.
So the creepy janitor isn't the killer either. I'm running out of suspects here fast. Just before this, the movie indicates that Kim's dad is missing, but it's way too late to push the idea that it's him. Yeah, the ski mask was in his office before we saw this killer wearing it, and of course this is all revenge for Robin's death, but that was a lot earlier in the movie. And while this movie is slow, it's still competent enough that it would have pushed the idea of Mr. Hammond being the killer at least once more before this point. So it's time for the procession, and because he doesn't know what happened to Wendy, Lou decides to go ahead with the prank. But if Wendy doesn't show when it's time, he's going to make a play for Kim himself. Not that the prank's that great, since Lou's toadies just gag and knock Nick out while Lou takes his place. So I guess the idea was for Wendy and Lou to just steal the crowns and do the procession themselves? Lame prank, honestly. About as lame as those crowns. And Lou learns the hard way why it was a bad idea to take Nick's place. And naturally, when Lou's severed head rolls out on the catwalk, all hell breaks loose. Kim finds Nick wandering backstage. Dude, you were knocked out, not fucking drunk. And the killer comes to after being shocked when the axe blade cut some cables when he was beheading Lou. When Kim and Nick finally make for the exit... Okay, damn, nice slide into the room, dude. Kudos. By God, it's Jamie Lee Curtis with the steel chair! While the killer and Nick fuck around on the floor, Kim manages to get the axe and give the killer a good whack to the face. The killer staggers out of the gym and outside where the cops are finally showing up. For a hot second, it looks like Lieutenant whatever the fuck is going to shoot him, but he collapses and we finally find out who it is.
They killed her. They killed her. Oh,
wait, really? Okay, I guess I can kind of see it. He obviously came back to check on Robin only to show up after she fell out of the window and saw the other kids take off. But that just leaves the really big question of why he waited 6 years to carry out his revenge. I mean, I know grief can take you by surprise, but why wait so long? And why do it at prom? But we don't get any answers to these questions because the movie just ends there. With Alex dead and Kim probably traumatized as fuck over killing her brother and later learning he killed a bunch of her friends. Oh, and Wendy too, I guess. Okay, so yeah, while Prom Night as a franchise is one of my favorite series, the initial outing is seriously flawed. I can see what they were going for. They wanted a suspense-filled slasher where the anticipation and dread provided most of the scares, much like the original Halloween. Unfortunately, the sequences meant to instill that anticipation and dread go on way too long, so any suspense just turns to boredom. It spends a full hour on setting up red herrings which are taken out of play in 5 minutes, and the kills are edited all to hell so we don't really see anything but the aftermath. And really, even though she's supposedly the lead, Jamie Lee Curtis doesn't do much in this movie. Hell, Kim doesn't even really know what the hell is going on until Alex tries to kill Nick, so where's the suspense? No, this isn't the best of these movies. It's okay, but you'd probably get a better experience by watching one of the other slashers of the time, or even just jumping to the second movie because that one, oh boy. But that's for another day. Next time, we're doing a double feature extravaganza as we looked at the directorial team-up that sparked the resurgence of interest in the Grindhouse for a whole new generation. So join me as I continue to show you what lurks on the other side of the silver screen.